Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry's Divorce Sistas review. This is season 1, episode 7, entitled Brutal Honesty. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody if you choose to. But if not, just sit back, relax while we get into this messy thing. Now, y'all already know who gonna approach the bench first. Now, she had a close second person, but y'all already know who I'm gonna give it to. And let's all say her name on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Geneva! Yes, ma'am. Come on up here. Approach the bench, sis. Why it always got to be you, Geneva? Every episode review, Geneva, it has to be you, ma'am. Yes, it has to be her. Y'all, Geneva, first of all, ma'am. So let's just deal with Geneva. So Geneva is waiting for Rashida to come to her office, and Tiffany walks in. She is not happy to see Tiffany. She does not want to deal with Tiffany. She doesn't even want to speak to Tiffany. All of those things were evident. She was very short. She was very attitudinal and dismissive. Tiffany, baby girl, you are smart. You are beautiful and you are kind. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to start connecting these dots and put 2 and 2 together. Now, for those who watched the episode, it's apparent to me that Tiffany knows something is up when it comes to the topic of Devon, because she's able to see that Geneva's entire mood changes whenever he is the topic of discussion. And that's good, Tiffany. That's very good. But ma'am, I'm going to need you to hurry up and come to the conclusion that your girl Geneva has had sex with Devon. It ain't that hard, ma'am. It is not that hard. We know something is up. You know something is up. I'm going to need you to put 2 and 2 together. Tiffany is basically pressing Geneva about the fact that, why are you ignoring me? I'm not ignoring you. I've just been busy. I've texted you 5 times. Stop right there. 5 times and she's still ignoring you. Geneva, you're not that busy. You can't even take your daughter to school. Ma'am, you're not that busy. You couldn't even finish the nice, beautiful breakfast that your husband made you last episode. Girl, you ain't that busy. Geneva, don't you walk away, stand right here. I'm coming at you, but you're going to take it. Just like Naomi did you and you stood there and take it, you going to take this. Now, the thing is, Tiffany is continuing to ask Geneva, is there something about Devon that I need to know? Is there something that you need to tell me? Geneva basically tells Tiffany, whatever it is that you need to find out about Devon, you'll find out whenever you need to find out. I said, oh, Geneva, you really want your ass beat, don't you? Like, there is no other way around it. Whatever Tiffany decides to do to Geneva when that time comes, Geneva deserves everything that Tiffany is going to unleash on her. However, Tiffany, I'm not letting you off that easily, ma'am, because as I stated before, you are smart, you are kind, and you are important. And I know in that mind of yours, you know something is up. Now, honestly, I do not believe that Tiffany believes that her good girl Geneva has actually had an affair on William. I don't think she believes that Geneva would do that. However, I'm going to need Tiffany to wake up and smell the coffee, that there is something going on when it comes to Devon. It was told to us in the beginning of the show that Geneva and Tiffany know each other very well. They seem to be extremely close. And the fact that Geneva is being distant towards Tiffany should be a red flag. Tiffany and Geneva were thick as thieves, cool as cool. But now that this new man, Devon, has appeared, everything about their friendship dynamic has changed. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to find out. So I'm going to need for Tiffany to do her due diligence and get on the good foot and understand that your girl Geneva is foul as hell. She a dirty down dog who don't want to be with her husband, who wants to leave him for the same man who you trying to connect with. And I thought it was rather interesting when the topic came up about Devon and sex. Geneva tells Tiffany, I think you should wait a year, or when you gonna get married. Girl, who are you? We found out that you was the second biggest hoe in the clique, but now you want your girl to wait a year before she have sex. Just like Tiffany said, who is this person? Who is this? Because this is definitely not the Geneva that I know. It's just not. We get a little moment, because we still on Geneva. We get a little moment with Geneva and Naomi. Now, it's interesting because I'm still trying to figure out everybody's dynamic, because it appears that everyone met in college. But of course, everyone met in college. You still dealing with different personalities. So everybody was on a different journey and a different path. And it appears that Naomi and Geneva were on the whole path. They were on the promiscuous path. Okay. And, I'm not dissing that, because I've had my whole stage too, and my promiscuous moments while I was in college as well. So ain't no diss to nobody. We all grow and change. Thank you, Lord. But we find out that Geneva and Naomi really are pretty much of the same side of the coin. So Geneva goes over to Naomi's house to basically let her know, hey, I'm here and the girls are right behind me. You need to get yourself together. But when Geneva enters, she sees a naked Hakeem. Where are your clothes? Then we see Naomi comes down. She's like, girl, you need to change. Go take a shower, so on and so forth. Take that mess off. And it's interesting because even though Naomi had some choice words for all of her friends, it does appear that she has a level of respect for what they say, because she knows that they're not saying anything to maliciously hurt her. However, we can't say the same for Naomi. So Naomi and Geneva have a little moment when Geneva goes upstairs and she calls her Mimi. And I was like, oh, okay, so she got a little cute nickname. Like, I'm here for you. I got you. But you need to get yourself together. You need to stop smoking so much. And it's amazing to me how Geneva has so much advice to give to Naomi, yet she won't operate in that in which she's trying to tell somebody else to do. But no, a lot of people do that. And Geneva, yes, baby, I'm calling you out. And that's all I got for you. You may leave my sight. Naomi, come forth. Come forth, ma'am. Tyler Perry, let me tell you, sir. Let this be the last episode that we have to gaze upon Naomi's nipples. That was team too much. I don't even know why that was happening. You literally could have told that story with Naomi and Hakeem without all of that happening. Or even if it was supposed to happen, it didn't need to be out there that long. To me, that scene was very distasteful. Like, no need for it, in my personal opinion. And so Naomi is serious about Hakeem ending Franklin. And I talked about this a couple reviews ago. Like, I clearly believe that Naomi is serious about what she wants. She wants Hakeem to take Franklin up out of here, and she wants Hakeem to take his white wife up out of here too. Now, they do have a child together. I said, Naomi, are you thinking what's going to happen to that child? But I guarantee that Naomi don't give two damns about Franklin, about his white wife, or about that child. She doesn't care. She wants what she wants. When Hakeem finds out who Naomi's ex-husband is, he's like, no, that's too high profile. Like, I ain't really down with that. And Naomi's mindset is, this is what I pay you to do. I pay you to do what I need you to do, and I need you to take care of this. I am hoping that doesn't happen. I am hoping, even though I don't like Franklin, I told y'all, I'm okay with the possible coma. I'm okay with maybe breaking his legs, but to completely take him off, that sounds so horrible. That sounds so horrible, but I mean it. Don't take him off the face of the earth. You can do other things to him. You don't have to, cancel Christmas on him. Don't do that. Naomi, you don't want to go to prison, ma'am. You will not survive. Period. I don't care how hard, if Naomi try to be on the outside. She ain't, girl, that ain't what you want. That ain't the type of life that you want. So, prayerfully, that does not happen. So, the girls come over to Naomi. Naomi is upset. She pissed off with everybody, especially Rashida, because she is under the guise of, hey, you went to the hospital first before you came to check on me. Rashida is like, oh, I'm sorry. Was coffee thrown on you, ma'am? No. That girl laid up in that hospital with 3rd-degree burns on her back, and you have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be mad at me because I didn't come here to check on you when your back is perfectly fine. Your back might be broke because you let Hakeem break it, but other than that, sis, you are perfectly well put together. What is your problem? That scene with Naomi and the girls, I had so many mixed emotions because I'm all about being honest and I'm all about wanting the best for my friends. But I believe that you should have tact when you're saying certain things, especially things that you know can emotionally harm someone. And to me, Naomi pissed me off so badly in this moment because she was so emotionally untactful. Is that a word? I don't know if untactful is a word, but she showed no type of emotional intelligence or concern about her friends. Just not at all. And that's something that I do not care for. In this moment, Naomi did actually make me think of the character Danny in the OG Sisters, because I could see, and we have seen Danny do that to the women multiple times when honesty was being placed in her face to get the truth up off of her. She would in return attack Karen, Andy, and Sabrina, and didn't care how far she went. And their motto, they wasn't there to hurt her or maliciously do anything to harm her emotionally. But there are some people who just, they can't take it, but they can, they try to dish it out. And in this space, that's where Naomi was. I don't think she did anything in this moment to try to better her sisters in any way. She was hurt and she wanted them to be hurtful. And I know I'm kind of working myself backwards from the episode. So we're just going to go all the way around to these truths that Naomi just had to reveal to her friends. She talked to Geneva was first, I believe, on the totem pole. Maybe it was Bridget, but I'm going to save her for last. So we get to Geneva. She tells Geneva that, like, oh, baby, you was in the whole stage with me. My day one, we was in this thing together. You think we forgot when you told us that William was only working with 5 inches and you're not satisfied? You want to leave him, but you need the 2 incomes? I said, oh, my damn. What? Yes, Geneva, you said it. We know you said it. Now, 5 inches, I'm just saying. This trope with the small penis, Tyler, you have to stop. Because you have men out there with big penises and don't know how to use it. It can't make a woman come to save her life. That may be a little bit too explicit, but that's where we are right now. And then you have some men who was not blessed with major size, but they know how to use it and they know how to please a woman. And this may be TMI, but I'm going to just say it. And this was when I was younger, in my college days, in my whole phase. I'm talking about deep in the whole phase. I had a huge crush on this guy. And I'm talking about, I never got crushes. I would say, so-and-so is, and I think he's cute. I think he's fine. But to have a crush on someone, I really did not. This really didn't happen to me. But I had a huge crush on this guy. I thought he was so fine. And then an opportunity presented itself for us to hang out. And everything about him was fine. I loved his complexion, the texture of his hair, like everything about him. Head game, probably some of the best I ever had in my life. Then we got down to the nitty gritty and I said, what? I had never ever, y'all, been with a man that small. I instantly had an attitude. I wanted to just throw in the towel because, baby, this ain't finna work for me, especially when I know what I'm used to. When I say this man surprised the hell out of me, and it was in that moment that I realized, honestly, it is not about the size. It is about, does this man know how to use what he have? And this particular man absolutely did. And, with maturity and with experience, you begin to learn certain things. So, Geneva, even if William only got 5 inches, because I think you're lying. You're lying. You're comparing him to Javon. He may be smaller than Javon. Okay. But 5 inches, I think you lying, sis. But honestly, I think William know what to do with them 5 inches. You just being greedy, and you don't want to be with him because this man has entered into your life again. And we gonna move on. So let's go to Tiffany. She tells Tiffany says, "Oh, I'm all right." "No, you're not. You just met this man last night and you already ready to marry him." The look that Geneva gives Tiffany, I had to laugh. She looked at Tiffany like, "Excuse the hell out of me. Baby, Javon ain't your man, Geneva. Shut up over there and you chill and be quiet with your 5 inches." Now back to Tiffany. So what if Tiffany want to have sex with Javon? Is she wrong for that? Not saying she gonna do it, but having the desire to have sex, it's nothing wrong with her, wanting to do that. But Naomi called her out. "Okay, you just be careful, Miss Lonely." I said, "Naomi, you didn't have to say that. That was sitting below the belt. You did not have to say that." So let's go to Bridget. Bridget was like, "You have this nice house. You have this big, huge house. You have the money." Naomi tells Bridget, "You may think having a big house is all of that because you don't got one. Naomi, don't do that, because Bridget has a nice house. It may not be as big and fabulous as yours, but she has a very nice, well put together home. Don't do her like that." And then, they want to, clown her because, she was dating this young man in Vaughn and, all these other things. And you could tell that Bridget was really hurt by the things that Naomi was saying. She did not want to be there after the day that she had. And then that's what happens. Naomi didn't give a damn. You didn't even care what this woman experienced earlier in her day. You just got to get your rocks off, and you don't care who you hurt in the process. But the biggest one was Rashida. Naomi was so upset with Rashida, as I stated earlier, for not coming to see her, for it being a day and a half that she has now come in person to check on her. I said, "Naomi, you are a grown-ass woman. This is a grown-ass woman with almost grown-ass children and a whole church. You think you going to be number one on her I need to see list? No, ma'am." Naomi was really acting like a spoiled brat. Like, honestly. And so we know that Naomi has cameras everywhere. Not only does she have cameras, she has the ability to hear what is being said, around her home. So we hear Myin on the phone, and we don't know who Myin is talking to, but whoever he's, speaking with on the phone, he's telling this person that Jeff doesn't like when he doesn't know who he's talking to, that Jeff is looking at him right now, that Jeff came into the church holding her hand, trying to make me jealous. So, of course, he's talking about Geneva. Myin is talking as if he is in love with Jeff. He tells the person on the phone that I love him and I know that he loves me. Let me tell y'all what I think that's going on with Myin and Jeff. And I stated this before. I do not believe that Jeff has any type of romantic feelings towards Myin. I do not believe that he is attracted to Myin. I do not believe that Jeff is on the down low. I have stated from the very beginning that I believe that Myron's feelings for Jeff have been inappropriate. He definitely gives me obsessed vibes, that he would be the one who would attempt to hurt Rashida so that he could, I guess, get to Jeff. But Jeff doesn't look at him like that. He never once said in that conversation that Jeff has told me that he loves me. He's told me that he wants to be with me. He never made mention of those things. Myin is the one that we need to keep a close eye on, because I definitely believe that he would attempt to hurt Rashida because he is in love with her husband. Those were the vibes that I got. And so moving on with the episode, the interesting thing is, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, I've always thought that Devon Franklin was an attractive man, right? But in this scene here, I said, Lord, forgive me, because he's a man of God. But he could get it after me hearing this.
As I'm a man of God, that I can't be a motherfucker too. And the violent take it by force. So if you harm my wife in any way, you will become my enemy.
That man said, don't play with my wife. Don't play with my family. Don't bring any harm near my wife. And if you even attempt to, let me tell you what's going to happen to you, my good sir. I said, I ain't never looked at Devon Franklin like this a day in my life. Like I said, I always thought he was attractive, but he became sexy to me in this moment. When I tell you I love a man who is a protector, a man who will let you know you can play with a lot of people, but you not dare play with my wife nor my family, period. I love this vibe. But where was that the other day in the hospital? I needed to see that. So, and your wife needed to see that and hear that. But it's okay. I'm going to give you a slight pass because you let Franklin know, I don't know who the hell you think you talking to. But with me and my God, oh, you better come correct. Because if you touch Sheeta here, oh, baby, you're going to be laid up next to your wife. Maybe Jeff scored major points with me. And maybe that makes me a little bit of a duck. I don't know. But I take it. Quack, quack. I loved it. We talked about this last week. And I don't even want to bring him up. Vaughn can go to hell. I know everybody don't watch the show, and we know what happened last week with Vaughn or what we thought happened. This dude shot out the window of his car, of his own car. This Negro is chilled up at his cousin's house. Did all of this because he does not want Calvin to press charges on him because he doesn't want to go to jail. I said, Bridget, I'm going to need you, my good sis, to not ever talk about this man. Bring him up. He's not even worthy for his name to roll off your tongue. Because any person, not this man, any person who would say something like that to someone and attempt to blame them for the reason that they would take their life is a person that you do not need to spend any time on or with or allow in your personal space. I cannot stand people like that. I have a true disdain for anyone who would do that to anybody. She just needs to leave it alone because it's not worth it. Just not worth it at all. So we get into the car. We have Rashida, Tiffany, and Bridget, and they're on their way to Naomi's home. And Tiffany wants to talk about Vaughn and this entire situation. Bridget doesn't want to talk about it. Now, Tiffany, as I stated earlier, I like you, but you nosy as hell, ma'am. You are nosy as hell, and you want to know everybody's business. And the reality is no one has to share anything with you. They just don't. No one has to share anything with you. She just wants to know a little too much. Like in the beginning, she's still not too pushy with it, but it seems to be that that's how her character leans into conversations when it's about other people's business. Man, what's going on with you? Because you're not just the all right friend. I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. Nothing bothers me. You're not that person. You're not that person. I'm going to just need you to fall back, bag back. Bridget, she ain't lying, ma'am. I don't know where you found Vaughn at, but wherever you found him at, don't you go back there no more. Okay? Leave it alone. Don't. Naomi said, where did you find Vaughn? At a daycare? What? I said, baby, on the seesaw. Where you found him at? First of all, Tyler, how old are these women? Are they in their 40s? Are they like 39, 38, 40? How old are they exactly? Because if Vaughn just turned 30, how old is Bridget? How old are these women supposed to be? Because they keep saying and using age as an excuse or a reason, but we don't know how old they are. I need to know that because I do not believe these women are as old as they are trying to imply. At the most, 43, maybe. Like, let's be real. But anywho, I think that's all that happened in the episode. I don't really know. I think that was everything. I'm going to tell y'all this, though. The OG Sistas premiered last night, and I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed Divorce Sistas a hell of a lot more than I enjoyed the OG Sistas, and I have my own reasons why. Someone asked me to do a video talking about the differences. I said that I wouldn't, but I'm really thinking about doing that because I do want to be fair, but I also want to be truthful. Oh, Father. But Divorce Sistas, I'm enjoying it. Y'all cute, but yeah, I enjoyed the episode. It wasn't the best. Episode 6 is definitely by far my favorite so far. But we're gonna go from there. I want to thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there.